we'll start this second basics of matrices video off with some scalar multiplying. With scalar multiplication, you're distributing a number into a matrix. Most likely you've heard about the word scalar before when you've looked at vectors, maybe in physics. The scalar just has that distance. It doesn't have the distance and direction. And actually matrices are a way to organize multiple vectors. So with scalar multiplying, you're just distributing the number in to each of the elements. As I stated in the previous video, you will most likely be doing a combination of scalar multiplying with adding, subtracting. So I'm just going to do one quick example with this. And it's really the same as basic distributing. You're going to distribute into row 1, and then in this case into row 2 also. Being careful with the negative signs. And that's really it. Again, you might have two steps where you're going to distribute and then do some adding, subtracting. So you just want to make sure you account for that when you are plugging this information in. Something I did not show in the last video would also be how to type the matrices into your calculator. And there's a couple options for that. If you hit alpha zoom, depending on which version of the calculator you have, it will show up horizontally or vertically. So if I wanted to put in a 2x3 matrix, like I had here, I could do that and then type in the matrix. You just type in the numbers, hit the arrow to move to the next element. It will take you across the row. And once it's done with that row, it will take you to the next one. So if you just keep hitting the right arrow, it'll keep taking you in order. Now I forgot to put the -2 in front, but I can hit times -2, put the scalar outside, and it would do that work for me. I think for scalar multiplying and adding, subtracting, you probably could do it quicker without the calculator, but you can use the calculator to check your work if you want to. And adding, subtracting would work the same way. You would just type in one matrix and then hit alpha zoom to type in a second one, making sure to select the right dimension sizes. All right, and then we're just going to also look at some solving in this video. There's a lot of different types of solving that we can do with matrices. This is just going to be one where we're matching up the elements. So again, we're looking for equal dimensions. We will be able to solve matrix equations later in the unit that are not the same size, but for now we're working with same size matrices. Let's do two examples of this. 2x, 3, 3z, oops, that should be a 3, is equal to 5, 3y, and 9. So it's a way to organize multiple equations into one set. So you would just set that each part equal and solve for the different variables. This was an easy one. Occasionally you might get something that's got quadratics in it, or maybe a system of equations. So my second one will be 2x and then 2x plus 3y is equal to same size matrix. This would be a 2x1 matrix on either side. The other ones I didn't put the dimensions, would have each been a 1 row by 3 columns. So when they're set up this way, you're really just setting up those two equations. I'm going to do these side by side to make it easier to do my system of equations work. So I would do this by a substitution, and we could substitute 2x in for y over here. So we get 8x is equal to 12, or x is equal to 1.5 or 3 over 2. Whether you want to work with a decimal or fraction here, it does not matter. And then we would go back and plug in to find the other value. So here, the key is matching up element to element when you're solving the equations. Second clue is our basic overview of matrices with a little touch of how to plug a matrix in the calculator, and we will be expanding on our different matrix operations and solving throughout this unit.